I see it on YouTube.
Yeah.
All right. You can vote something swept here by 2 pounds, but never mind. Feel like a right square tonight. But anyway, good evening and welcome. I tell you what, I've got Claire for you, and apparently, if you kind of like, if you see her on the podcast, you can see that she's got a cold. And so, if you're on the radio and you're listening out there, if you've got a cold, please bear with us because at the end of the day, we're all suffering colds because of the weather. Anyway, Claire, I want to talk to you tonight about your book, Lollipop. And I just want to, yeah, I tell you what, Lollipops and Rainbows. What I just, I, I just forgot the other one. I'm glad you lifted it up. Anyway, so Lollipops and Rainbows, what is it about? Tell us about your book.
Yes, so it's a rather strange title, I know. And so it's called Lollipops and Rainbows, and it's teaching literacy with soul is the kind of tagline. It says here an educational resource for parents and teachers. So basically, I created this during the lockdown. I'm an expert educator with 20 years experience, and I love doing online learning and helping children to become proficient writers. And parents were coming to me saying, our kids are so bored with the stuff that's being sent home from school. There's nothing creative for them to do. Can you help? So we went on this quest. We went on a quest to get these young children to go from having no idea and a blank piece of paper to writing a story that was good enough to be a published book. And so I thought, well, do you know what? I'm going to put all their stories together in the book and actually publish it. And what I also have done is create some stories of my own in there as well, and put all the teaching resources at the back to empower parents so that they can help their children at home as well to become young writers. Now, here's the thing, it isn't just stories in here. We've got all different genres of writing. So, for example, recipes in here. There's how to write a recipe. There's a letter in here. There's a comic in here, comic strip designed and illustrated by an incredibly talented 10-year-old. There's also things like a song, right? So it's showcasing all different styles of writing and giving parents examples of what that looks like and of how they can actually teach that to their children as well. And what is so inspiring about this book, of course, is that we've got young people's illustrations in here. We've got young people's stories in here, that they've written during the quest that we were on. And so I think that for people who may think, oh, I've got a reluctant reader, they're dyslexic or they've got English as a second language and this and this and this, well, so have these children been, right? We've got talented and gifted writers in this book. We've also had children who've really struggled. We had children from all around the world, from Bosnia, from Dubai, from Ireland, right? From all over the place who have contributed to this book. And it's not just all about writing, because there are lots and lots of different learning styles. And I know that it's very difficult to get kids switched on to writing. And that's why I called my academy the Switched On Academy. So in here, there are also things where you can simply read a book to your child, read one of the stories to your child. There are suggested follow-up activities, there are meditations afterwards, and there are prompts for asking curious questions. So even if you don't want to read anything, and even if you don't want to write anything, you can still have a conversation. You can still have that conscious connection, that conscious communication, using words, using stimuli from the book, so that your child is able to reactivate their imagination and get into this creative mindset. That's what this is all about. So we've got,
And
sorry.
yeah, sorry. Um, where did you get the idea for that then? For the book?
So yeah, so the thing was, as I say, I was doing this course with the children, and something that I advocate in the Switched On Academy is that for us as parents and educators, and even as leaders, actually, we don't have to have this face to face approach, like this chalk and talk approach. I adopt what I call a shoulder to shoulder approach, which is where we go on this learning journey together. So I thought, how empowering would it be for the children to see that I was writing chapter one of the book that they were going to appear in, as they were writing chapter one of the story that they were going to put in the book. Right. So then we could have this dialogue. How does this sound? What do you think about this character? How can we change this to make it more exciting? And so I was not only their teacher, I was also a student in the process. And that was really, really inspiring for parents as well, because it showcased that you don't always need all the answers, right? So although I had my methodology, although I had my system to get us, this is how we plan a story, this is how we write a story, this is how we edit a story. I had my system, but I was still actually proactively involved at the same time. And so that was why this was a really different kind of a book. And of course, when we promoted it, the children were so excited. And all the proceeds went to the NSPCC at the time, which, for those of you who are listening from overseas, is a charity here in the UK that supports children. And we got our young authors into the top 100 on Amazon during our book launch. So during lockdown, when they went back to school and the teachers asked them, well, what did you do? They could say, well, I not only wrote a story, but I became a top 100 best-selling author on Amazon. What did you do during lockdown? And so this really helped them to boost their confidence and to understand that if we think outside the box and if we do things in a slightly different way, that they are capable of doing something incredible in a short space of time that takes most adults a lifetime to do.
Yeah. And so is it? Where can they find it to then? Where can they find Lollipops and Rainbows?
So that's on Amazon in the UK and Amazon in the US. So they can easily buy it from there, and it gets delivered to their door.
Right. Okay. And when the children, how long did it take from the start to the finish?
How long did it take?
Yep.
Well, you won't believe this, Steve, but I was actually on the quest with the children for just a week. They wrote their stories in a week, and we were only together for an hour every day. So it took them 6 hours to go from start to finish. Obviously, it took me a bit longer behind the scenes to upload everything onto Kindle Direct Publishing and all of that, making sure it was all beautifully presented for the book. But from the point of view of the children, they had 6 hours teaching with me face to face, and then they went off. Now, some children loved writing, and their parents were saying to me, Claire, what have you done? We can't stop them from writing their stories. There was one lady saying, I can't stop my daughter from drawing her designs because she really got into it. She's done the most beautiful little pictures here, like such talented artists, such talented writers. And for other people, they were just like, yeah, I'm just doing the bare minimum and sending it in and it will have to do. So it really did depend on how much time they wanted to put into it. But from the point of view of face-to-face teaching, literally they did this in 6 hours during 1 week in the summer holidays.
Gosh, well done. Tell us about Switch On.
Yes, thank you so much, Steve. So Switched On is a global online academy which I created in response to lockdown, really, because as I alluded to earlier, so many parents were saying, Claire, our kids are switched off. They're disengaged from learning. They're so bored. Um, the teachers aren't sending home the right work. We don't know how to support them. Like, can you help? What can you do? And so I realized that the way I got kids to be motivated, engaged, and switched on learners was using my methodology, which I didn't realize I had until I started to explain it to other people. So basically, at Switched On, we have three main pillars. We have curiosity is one of our first things. And that's why in here, there are prompts to ask curious questions. Because if children forget how to ask why, then we as a species are going to disappear, right? All the things that we have created that have given us the tools and the things that we use nowadays, rightly or wrongly, have been created because we've asked why. And I feel that the school system has been dumbing down and that children have been stopped from asking why because teachers haven't necessarily had the time to explain the answers and parents haven't necessarily had the time either. And they're like, oh, it is because it is, or go and ask Google. So asking curious questions, the quality of the question you ask determines the quality of the answer you receive. So that is a big, big thing for us in the Switched On Academy. And
Let's watch.
that,
Let's watch. Let's just watch a video, and we come back.
okay, perfect. Hello, and a very warm welcome to the Switched On Academy. I am so excited that you are here. You are in for a treat. There are a plethora of courses available to you in three different curriculum. In the core curriculum for your mental and intellectual growth, in the clever curriculum for your emotional growth, and in the quantum curriculum for your spiritual growth. And these courses are available to kids, teens, and mums so that the whole family can go on a learning journey together so that you can become more educated, more empowered, and more elevated as you tap into that true potential and go on a learning journey which unlocks your passions, your gifts, your talents, so that you're a really switched on and motivated learner. And I am so excited to be hosting and facilitating this journey with you. Take care and see you very soon. Bye for now.
Well, there you go. And you're very enthusiastic, aren't you?
I am enthusiastic, yes. I do get really excited like talking about this stuff because the thing is, Steve, what I've come to realize is that words have so much power. One of the other things that I don't talk about much that I do is that I'm actually a quantum energy healer and a Reiki master. And so, from an energetic standpoint, words actually carry a frequency, they have a vibration, right? And the words we tell ourselves affect us on a cellular level. And I know this to be true, right? I've looked into epigenetics. I've done all sorts of studies around that in another work that I do. Now, the thing is, if children learn to master words, if children learn to understand the thoughts that are going on in their heads, and if they learn to master their thoughts and journal them out and understand about manifestation, for example, how they could get an idea from their head into a book that they can actually hold, like that is so powerful. This can change the trajectory of their life, right? This can change the trajectory of their life. I've got some testimonials that I can share if you would like me to.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you carry on.
Let me see if I can get them up. 1 second. So I can read them to you, but I wanted to share them with you if I could. So yes, we got some testimonials from people who here we go, Lollipops and Rainbows. It's from people who have read the book and really enjoyed that. Let me just show it to you here, make it a bit bigger. So, for example, here you can see the book showcase the skills that they've been taught, plus their ability to use them to convey their ideas effectively. And that is the thing, to engage the reader. Great job to all involved, right? So we've got another one here. As a parent, you're gently guided with questions and prompts for your child to think about. So this is helping parents help their children. This is the point, to empower families. Beautiful designs there. More and more parents are homeschooling. I think, Steve, there was a something on the other day I saw, 73% or something of parents are deciding to homeschool their children. I don't know if that's true, but a
Yeah, yeah,
huge
yeah. That's
percentage
right.
anyway. And so they're new to teaching, and it's great to have a resource like this, right? From the very first chapter, you can tell that a lot of thought, effort, and love has gone into the creation and production of Lollipops and Rainbows. The book lives up to its title and showcases how to teach literacy with soul. And that's actually written by a literacy teacher. So this is actually helping educators as well. As the parents, and it's inspired by the children themselves. This is a real life example of what can be done. So you can see all of these kind of reviews, right, on Amazon. If you go on there, you can see the reviews on Amazon, and you can see for yourself, right? If that's in the UK one, they'll be on there, Steve. If that's yes, there they are. So, yes, so I'm taking some more children through the quest this week. And this time, instead of them actually getting their books amalgamated in a book like this, they're all going to get their own individual hardback books. That's what I'm now doing, so that they can buy copies of their own book for Christmas, for presents, for gifts, for friends and family, and say, this is a book I wrote when I was 6, when I was 9, when I was 10, right? And when they start having those strops when they're teenagers, the parents can say, look, you say you're no good at this. Look what you managed to do when you were younger. So it's, they're creating their own legacy even now as children. And I think that that's an amazing gift to be able to give them.
Really, that is good. That is really, really good. Uh, when you write your books, when you write your book, do you do everything yourself then?
Well, I have done, when I wrote this book, I did everything myself. I did the design myself. I did all the back office stuff myself, getting it onto Kindle, getting it onto Amazon. Yes, I did all of that myself and self-published. Um, and that was very successful. Other books that I've written, I've co-authored some books, and so that's been done for me. All I've had to do is send in my chapter, and that's all been edited and paginated, and all the design done by somebody else. And with the books that the children make, I actually use a publishing house, amazing publishing house called Saronti. And so what we do is we send the templates of the books that the children have created over to Saronti, and then they do all the magic at the back end to get that into a format that becomes the children's hardback book with all their designs and all their story in.
Really, really good. Very, very good. And what are the plans for the future? Are you still going to carry on with this and keep the story going? Are we going to have more books coming out of the children? What's the future hold?
Yes, well, every holiday I run the quest, so there will be more children who are producing their own books. There won't necessarily be another book like this. I might do a volume 2 with different stories in and different resources in. I'll have to see, because it's all intuitively guided and downloaded. So if I feel that there's a demand in another way that I can help to support parents teaching children at home, then there may be a volume 2. But at the moment, what I'm doing is I'm running the complete writing course, where children go through a whole program with me, where they're not just writing creatively, they also learn to write persuasively and informatively. So they're building the foundations, the building blocks for what they need for future success. So that's what I'm building out at the moment, the complete writing course.
Right. Okay. And also, if people kind of like see, the trouble is now, what you've done is you opened everything up. So if people want to come to you, the child or whoever it is, say a child and their mother and said, my child likes writing. Could you kind of like make her dream possible by writing a book? I can't wait for my book to come out. I'm looking forward to it. Sometimes I get a bit kind of like, yes, come on, hurry up. And but the trouble is, if you've got somebody out there who's writing and who's putting things in stories, would you give them a chance to kind of like write everything down and get them a book?
Yes, I mean, as I say, I go through a whole program. So in the academy, you can buy the course Little Authors Quest, and you can buy the Little Authors course, and you can buy that for your child, or you can gift it to your child, or somebody else can buy it for them, and you can go through it with them, and then you can send off their template to Saronti to get their own book published. That's absolutely possible. Yeah, if you don't
And
want to
is
go
it
through the
when you send the template off, is there a charge?
If you don't do the quest with me and you just do it yourself, there is a small charge, and I can't tell you the exact cost because it depends on the number of pages that you have in your book by the time you've got to the end. So there is a cost, of course, to create the hardback book itself. It's a color copy, it's hardback, it's excellent quality, and also there's postage and packaging to pay. But it's not exorbitant.
But
So
if I did it with you, how much would that be?
yes, so if you do the quest with me, we go through as a small group, and that at the moment, currently this year, the quest that I'm running now is £197, and you get the 6 hours of tutoring with me personally. You also get a one-to-one editing session with me personally, and you get your book made for you. And so it literally just lands on your doorstep after we've pressed the send button. It takes a couple of days to go to print and to get sent out, but after a few days, it literally lands on your doorstep. And you're like, oh my goodness, how is that magic or what? So,
And can
yes,
they order? And if they wanted to kind of like, if their friends
yeah,
want to get copies,
yes,
would you
they
better
just
get
send them the
copies?
link. They send them the link. The friends can purchase extra copies, or you, as the parent, can purchase extra copies to give as gifts. But say you've got friends or cousins and you don't actually want to buy them a copy, and they're all around the world, they can click on the link, purchase their copy, and it gets sent to them.
Brilliant. £197, guys. I think that is
it's
brilliant.
it's
Really
just
good
so
value for
empowering.
money.
I mean, the feedback I've had, Steve, for example, one mum, she showed me an Instagram snippet from her daughter's school in Dubai, and Amira was reading her book to the year 2 class, right, in this international school, and they were all absolutely spellbound by the fact that she was reading them her very own book. Now, this girl, she was quite shy when she first came to me, and also, she'd never finished a story. She was one of these really creative types who would go off on tangents and then get a bit lost along the way. And we've all been there. And so, having that structure to really, for me to show her how to tie up the loose ends and how to make it all work, like her mum said, her confidence has just absolutely soared. And the fact that she has been filmed reading this to her peers also has the ripple effect, of course, of inspiring those younger people as well, saying, well, look, if Amira in year 4 can do it, maybe I can write a book as well. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just amazing.
brilliant. And and guys, if you're listening out there, don't forget it's £197, and that is reasonable. I'm telling you something now. To write a book these days costs more than that, and
It
you
can
not only
cost
get
thousands of pounds if you
thousands of
use
pounds.
these book coaches,
Yeah,
um, and because I have self-published myself this book, it cost me nothing but time. It did cost me a lot of time, oh, it was a big learning journey, right? Let's be honest, it wasn't an easy thing to
yeah, yeah.
do, but I thought, I'm not going to charge people thousands of pounds to get them to be published authors, because it doesn't actually cost that.
Mm,
Right? So if I can find a way to make this accessible for young people, to give them this boost to their confidence and to give them these writing skills, it's totally worth it. I mean, it really is. They're
yeah,
creating a legacy at the age of 8, 9, and 10, something that they can read to their grandchildren.
that's it. And I'll tell you a story. Dreams can come true because
Yes,
I remember a publishing house contacting me, and they wanted thousands of pounds of me, and I couldn't afford it. And one day I was interviewing somebody on here, and they've checked my website and everything, knew what was going on. They said, "Steve, would you like to? I hear your dream is to write a book." And she said to me, "I could help you do that." I said, "How much is going to cost me?" And she said, "It's nothing." And I said, "Well, I've
Oh,
got to do something 50-50." And I tell you what, and it's really, really good. But don't forget lollipops and rainbows. Don't
yes,
forget, lollipops and rainbows. All the children who's written that book. You've got to go and get it. It's on
yes.
Amazon,
And
and
I asked them about the title, and we looked at all the graphics together and different cover options. They were involved in
yeah.
every single part of
Can you
creating
open
this
some of
book.
the pages for me?
Pardon?
Can you open some of the pages of the book for me?
Yes, definitely. Look at this one.
So there you go. Look, that's me there. Look, that's me on the right hand side.
Hold on, I'll show you another one. There we go.
Oh, there you go. And that's my dad there. Look, looking at that. Yeah, yeah. So you see,
Yes,
yeah, guys, don't forget for the program, £197 for all that and everything is quite good. It's not £197 for the book, guys.
no, no,
No, no. But you can get this book and make sure you get it. Because
yes. And
lollipops and rainbows
yes,
and
and
really good.
I've also got information about all the young authors in the back as well, right? So that when you're reading these stories to your children, you say, well, look, Scarlett, she was age 8 and she's interested in drama and singing. She's got a dog named Bonnie. And what she liked about being part of the project was imagining the story and doing her own illustrations. And so that's a way to relate the readers in here to your own children so that they feel that it's possible for them as well.
See, because you're a mum, ain't you?
Yes.
So have you got your children involved in this too?
Yes, my sons are older teenagers now. So,
Yeah.
well, we all know it's quite hard to involve older teenagers. But yes, my son Alex, he is an artist and he did a couple of designs for me. This is one of his drawings to illustrate one of my stories.
All right, there you
Um,
go.
and he's done another story as well. This is another one of his pen and ink drawings here. So he's
Right.
on alexfordartist.com now. He's really going down that route. And my other son Oscar, he also contributed. He designed a little poster for me, which was all about kind of being true to yourself. So this one here, he designed a poster here, and that says, "I am unique," because it's all
Yeah,
about this whole little chapter was all about understanding that we're all unique and we're here to be who we need to be.
that's
So
it.
yeah, they've been involved. My mum
Yeah,
edited it. She proofread it for me. And my partner supported me as well while I was making it. So there's a thank you in here to all my family as well, because this really is a collaborative effort, right? And I've dedicated this book to all the children who will lead us into the light.
yeah. Thank you so much, and hopefully the candle will never go out because our children are the future. Thank you so much. Thank you. That was Claire Ford, everybody, and that was brilliant. Really, really good. I tell you what, don't forget to get the book and Lollipop and Rainbows. Now I can forget. See, I can remember it now, and you can get that on Amazon. Please, 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 and also get in contact with Claire if you want to write a book, especially your child. Can you imagine it taking that book to school and everything, and showing your classmates and saying, "Hey, I'm an author." You know what I mean? You see, you write a book, you're an author. You're special. Thanks, Claire. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's amazing chatting with you.
Thank you so much for your time.